Today we're looking at how to generate real estate leads using direct mail. Let's begin. Hey, it's Jaime. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. Question of the day, are you using direct mail in your business? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before we begin, let's address it. There are pros and cons of using direct mail, just like any other marketing strategy out there. From the pros side, direct mail marketing is highly targeted, easy to implement, and has mass reach. And from the con side, it's costly, it has a low conversion rate, and you're playing the long game as you have to send multiple mail pieces to the same people. The decision to use direct mail marketing is yours to make, of course. Now, assuming you've made that decision and want to use direct mail marketing as part of your strategy, I want to show you a targeted way of finding the people that are owners of properties that are more likely to sell. Because the reason that direct mail marketing is so expensive is that you have to send direct mail pieces to hundreds, if not thousands of people at once. Which means you have to pay for stamps, envelopes, letters, or a postcard if that's what you're sending, and it all adds up as you have to multiply those costs times the thousands of times that you're sending them. So one of the best ways to reduce your cost is by identifying those people that are more likely to sell, that have selling indicators that historically have proven to win out. So today we'll be using Remine to help us out with those filters, rather than having to purchase all of these various lists, cross-reference them, and hoping that we're reaching the right person. Here we are in Remine, and most of you real estate agents at this point have access to Remine. That wasn't the case a year ago, especially 2 years ago, but now at this point, chances are that your MLS or association has already adopted Remine and is on your dashboard at the moment. Now, some MLSs have given Remine the Pro version for free for the real estate agent. So some MLSs still have not. So just giving you a heads up on that. So I'm part of NETRIS, the North Texas Real Estate Information Systems. I believe that's what NETRIS stands for. I'm probably wrong, but we have access to the Pro version for free, or already included in our dues. All right, so we're not going to go through everything. We're going to go through what we need in order to send direct mail pieces. So we're going to go to search, where it all begins. Now let me back out so you see the map that we're working with. And you're going to see a lot of pockets, a lot of clusters, I believe is what they call the results. And maybe I should stop scrolling out and start scrolling in. So you see some blue dots and blue clusters that appear. So you see there's over 10,000 properties in each of these clusters. So let's start farming. We're going to go to, you know what? We do North Dallas a lot of the time, so we're going to go with South Dallas. How about that? We're going to go right in through here, north of Mansfield and south of Arlington. All right, right in through here. You're going to start seeing smaller clusters. And now we're going to start filtering out properties that are more likely to sell. Now, these are properties that have characteristics of people, or I guess people's characteristics that may be more prone to selling. Essentially, if they've lived in the house for a certain amount of time, if they have a certain amount of equity in the home, if their interest rates, that would be more, if their interest rates are higher than 6%, that may be more of a refinancing conversation, but you have access to all that information. So we'll run through these really quickly so you see the options. Property value. So when you click on property value, you're able to filter based off of the property value. This is something that you are not able to do just by looking at a property. Yeah, you know the neighborhoods that are most likely at a certain value, but you don't get the exact, a good approximation of the property value. Home equity, how much equity they have in their home, ownership time, how long they've owned their home for, a sales score. Now that's a fun algorithm that you can play around with, where If a property that is, let's say, has a high sales score, it's likely to sell in the next 12 months. One that is identified as a medium sales score is likely to sell between 12 and 24 months. And anything in the low sales score is 24 months and above. So this is a fancy algorithm that Remine takes all of the data points and all of the information that they feed into it to give you some sell indicators. So you want to check that out. And I'll show you what we're going to use as filters in order to send our direct mail pieces. Because remember, we want to send pieces to people that are more likely to sell. All right, and then we go to absentee, whether they own the, let me clear this filter up here. Absentee is if they live in the property or not, the owners, if they are living in the property or if they're renting it out. And then flood zone, unknown risk, low, medium risk, and high risk. If the property is in a flood zone, building type, you see single family, condo, townhouse, family, multifamily, and other. You see land use, so you can even identify commercial, industrial, residential for sure. Airbnb, if a property is Airbnb'd out at the moment and what the rates are. Interest rates, what they have on their mortgage, what type of interest rate they have. Mortgage age, how long they've had their mortgage. So if they refinance, that would be valuable information to know. And then let's see, last sales price, what they last sold for. So you're able to filter based off of the last sales price and what a good approximation of the property's value is today. And then distressed deals. So you see all of the indicators that go along with distressed deals. So we'll highlight a few. So you see there's a few there. And cash buyers, if the property was purchased in cash. So that is the filters when it comes to what you can use to filter out certain properties. Again, the goal is to identify those properties that are more likely to sell. So I'm going to put in some indicators here that might help us out. So property value, we can start with, let's say we want to market to properties that are above 400,000. All right. Home equity, we can do at least have 200,000 in equity. Ownership time, have owned the property at least 10 years, which there are some similarities here, but remember that if they're refinanced, then they're going to live in their home longer and are not going to have as much home equity. So if you go only with the ownership time, then the home equity may be impacted because they're refinanced. We're not going to do the sales score at the moment. I like to split test that independently. I don't like to add too many of these indicators because there are certain aspects that Remine takes into consideration regardless of how long they've lived in their property. So there are some people that sell within 2 years, within a year. I mean, I'm helping some buyers that just bought the property last year. I'm helping some sellers that just bought their property last year and are selling this year. So I'm sure you run across those all of the time. So I like to split test this independently of everything at this point. So we're going to go with, what else do we want to do? It's a good amount of properties already. 400,000 in property value, at least 400,000 property value, 200,000 in home equity, 10 years ownership time. Let's do single family, which this isn't going to change much. But right now you start seeing the number of results you have. So you can zoom in and just stay to a certain pocket. Now you start seeing those areas that have the most options for you, or have properties that mostly resemble where you want to be. So you see a good amount of properties right here. And let's see, do we want anything else? Let's make sure they are an owner occupant. So you see 325 goes down to 300 or so. I'm good with 300. We'll stay in this neighborhood, which is a good neighborhood. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all. and we're going to add to a cart. One quick favor before continuing, please be sure to hit the like button so this video's reach is magnified and others benefit. Also, don't forget to check out my free courses linked down below. Alright, so you see on the top right, it's downloading, that little countdown. And there you go. Now we're going to go to carts. And we just added this cart. These are other carts that I have on Remine. And now you see 301 properties that we highlighted over here in the search that we filtered through. We're going to go to carts. And we're going to select all of these. Now you have various options. Remember, with direct mail marketing, you can go as manual as you want. You can go to Google Maps and get the properties one by one and start writing out your letters, or adding all of the property addresses into an Excel sheet and then sending it to, let's say, Vistaprint or other direct mail service for them to send postcards, yellow cards, letters, whatever you're sending out as a direct mail piece. You can do it that manually, or you could purchase lists. There's plenty of lists out there that you can purchase that have some characteristics of what you saw today, but as far as going in, and I can click on any one of these properties and get much more detailed information about the owners. And here, there's just so much flexibility. Now, you can do as manual as you want, or you can do as automated as you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to automate this. And let's just see, we're going to go to send mailers. And we're going to say it's Mansfield, 400p, 200e, 10-year, and owner occupant. Oops. We'll do that. Now it's going to redirect us over to Rocket Mail, I believe is the name of the company. Rocket Print and Mail, or Rocket Mail Print and something. Whatever it's called, that's where it is. So Rocket Print and Mail, that's what it's formally called. And you have various options. You already have the list, so take note over here. And you can select if you want to send this type of postcard, this type of postcard, a larger postcard right here. You can send letters, yellow letters, and snap apart. So you check out what they look like. So you see postcards, which is where we're going to go right now, but so we're not going to click on it. But letters, you get a few options when it comes to letters. And they have templates ready to go. You can personalize it to you. So these are what they look like. Yellow letters. Again, you can personalize it. This is what that would look like. And then the snap aparts right here. And you get to personalize them. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to stick with this card. So you see the cost right there. It's not going to change from that all that much. Alright, we're going to choose a design. And now you see the type of design that you can go with. You can go with an absentee owner, general farming, just listed. So this is the message that you're conveying with your direct mail. So if you are saying, let's do a just sold, you see I'm selling, let's just say Mansfield, and 1 yard at a time, and it gives you the information for you to personalize it there. So that's one type. So if you have a property that you just sold, it's going to help you out. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do general farming. Now we browse through the designs, so you see various designs right here. Alright, so I've sent this one in the past. I had a few responses, not that many. I've sent the top one in the past. That one I think I only got one response with. So I want to try something different. This one looks different. And kind of like this one. You know what? We'll stick with this one. All right. What address would you like the postcard to go to? So we're going to go to the property address. Now remember, we pulled our we pulled our information from Remine, so they have a direct integration with Rocket Print and Mail, so they know the difference between the property address and the mailing address. Remember that we highlighted the people here, we highlighted their them being at the property, so they were owner occupant. That's what the OC in my label meant. So we want to go with the property address, just in case they have a different address, but they won't. They're gonna be the same. Whom would you like the mail piece addressed to? And you can put the current resident, so the words current resident, or you can go with their name, which you have their information already, so I would go with their name. And then you can brand it to your colors. So if you're with Remax, if you're with eXp Realty, if you're with Century 21, so you can go with your own brand. So we're gonna go with eXp Realty since that's where I'm at. Refresh preview. Sometimes it refreshes, sometimes it doesn't when it shows you the colors. So we're gonna continue trusting that we've already selected the color that we want. All right, so it's already pre-populated that. We'll take that out. All right, and that's a domain that I have. So that's good. Choose your image. And then we start highlighting the benefits of working with you. So you would fill in this bullet point 2, bullet point 3, bullet point 4, as many as you want, putting the address there and putting your license there. You would go to next. And then some mail outs that I've done in the past. So that's the one that we're gonna go with. We're gonna go with next. And then you can add your own address if you would want. So you would just put add new address, type in your address so you get a test. You're gonna get the postcard along with your recipients. That way you know that it's gone out. For our purposes, we won't. We're gonna go to next. So it's removing duplicates, removing errors from the labels, checking for incorrect addresses. So remember, we had 301 going into it. Let's see how many we leave with. Typically, the number that we go in with is the number we come out with, but we'll see if that's the case here. All right, so it kept all 301. You can view your proof right here. You're gonna have the front page and then the back page over here. And then you just add to cart, add your payment, and you've just done 301 direct mail pieces. This is how you get real estate leads using direct mail featuring Remine. If you found value in this video, please be sure to subscribe so we can talk again soon.